Hello everyone, welcome to the new edition of F1 Fridays where we do quick aero analysis of the upgrades that we see on race weekends. So without wasting much time, let's dive into it. So let us first talk about the front wing. Ferrari have shifted from an inboard loaded front wing to a mid-span loaded front wing, in which they have reduced the loading inboard and moved the wingspan loading outboard by moving the position of the gurneys outboard and by adding more planform to the flap itself and by cranking it up slightly more outboards. However, Ferrari has also made changes to their front wing end plate, and these changes are subtle yet they are very important. Let's understand how they work. You can notice the change in the end plate geometry. It's gone from in-washing to out-washing, as shown by Vanya, my friend from F1 Technical. This change definitely helps you to reduce drag because it reduces the stagnation on the front tires, but also helps you to manage the front wheel wake, especially in combined yaw and steer condition, if you are able to encompass this effect into the new regulations, that is the 2022 regulations. Additionally, you can also notice that the gaps between the elements have increased and the tips have a smoother transition, which could be targeted towards reducing the losses from the front wing tip vortex and managing the strength of the front wing tip vortex because the elements, that is the flap elements themselves, have been much more loaded. Next up, let us have a look at the end plate and the tips from the side because there's an interesting feature available here too. If you look at the end plate from the side, you will notice that the dive plane and the end plate leading edge curvature has changed. The dive plane itself is a bit more loaded, however, does not play a big role in the present regulations. Coming to the end plate sweep, by sweeping the leading edge of the end plate, you are able to reduce the side view area, which would help to decrease the yaw sensitivity of the end plate itself and help you to control the strength of the end plate top edge vortex, which interacts with the top shoulder of the front tire. What you will also notice is that the element 4 wingtip chord is increased with a discrete shedding edge moved rearwards. This would help you to shed the front wing tip vortex in a predefined position, especially controlling its position in yaw, which is useful to maintain consistency of the tip vortex position, that is the merge tip vortex which lands up close to the tire contact patch, which is extremely important for yaw performance and to ensure that the front wheel tire squirt does not land up entraining into the floor. Next up, let us look at how the front floor is modified in order to accommodate the change in the front flow field due to the changes in the front wing. There are some major changes to the front strake design. What you can initially see from these pictures is that the flow leading edge is slightly regressed and the strakes pop out quite prominently. Additionally, the strakes are more rounded than being more rectangular and the outer strake has less side view area. These changes are made to complement, as we earlier spoke about. As we discussed earlier, these changes are present to complement the flow field changes introduced by the front wing in order to ensure that the vortex system that goes into the floor are clean and consistent. Hopefully you enjoyed that quick overview of the upgrades brought by Ferrari for the Austrian Grand Prix, and please make sure you do join me next week for the next F1 Fridays episode.